Next up, we have, I think, competitive coding, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is very, very important. I see this in Buzz, and I think 15, 20 of you have already started doing. So competitive coding is very important to set up the way how you think and how you can, Avikant, would you like to speak more about it, since I have an idea that you have been doing some work with juniors on this?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
So basically, we have competitive coding. So you can think of it as logic-based, puzzle-based questions. All right. Normally, any company which hires or recruits the software developers or any sort of technical role, they go for a filtering procedure, which is simply based on competitive coding. It's more of learning data structures and algorithms there if you're going for placements, but competitive coding itself is a different field. So this actually doesn't have a lot of real world application. It's more of like solving questions. So there's something called as ICPC, which is organized by ACM, and ACM, I think it stands for American Computation, some computer, some I don't remember the full form, but yeah. So competitive coding is like there are challenges, there are websites where you can go and start competitive coding. It will basically rank you among the world where you stand in terms of the competitive. The competitive programming world. And so there is something called as DSA. It is very much, it has a huge overlap with the competitive coding, but it's a little different. So DSA stands for data structures algorithm. And you can either go completely for competitive coding, and either you can stick only to DSA and just study for your placements. DSA is much more important for placements. Basically, you learn a lot of implementation of data structures and algorithms, and then you prepare for your interviews. So yeah. And if you have any questions, you can ping any of the seniors regarding it. You will anyway learn data structures and algorithms in your second year. And I would say, just to sum up, competitive coding is just an extension of data structures and algorithm to see where you rank across the world, where you stand across the world. And yeah, DSA is somewhat, uh, somewhat more of a recruitment process where the companies check where you stand in terms of your DSA knowledge. And yeah, it's equally important to learn DSA and competitive coding along with the development side, because it will basically fetch you jobs, and it will make you a better coder as well. It will make you to think in a programmatical way. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, there are a lot of platforms as well for that. So, like for people who are just getting started with coding, I'm not even talking about DSA, data structures, algorithms, anything, but people who are actually getting started with coding, we'll actually show that in the upcoming slides that what are the platforms that you could go for. But if you're an intermediate, you could actually go for something like CodeCheck, there's CodeForces, and then you could also practice on Geeks for Geeks. So we'll be showing that, and yeah, so there's this wonderful meme. As you think your code will finally work.
Yeah, this is the meme of the day.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I used to start competitive coding, and this was my story for a long time. And I looked at the code looked at me, and then nothing happened. Okay, I got errors, so something happened, but yeah. So, but
You
it's
could
very
see a lot of
important,
bugs.
guys.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, lots of bugs. It's very important. Okay, yeah, I just saw bugs as well. I missed that out. Yeah. So it's very important to have at least some gist of competitive coding before you guys go into your placements. It's not completely very important, but yeah, it's very rigorous in at least one round. But yeah, you guys can learn some part of it. Yeah, moving on. Okay. So, okay, I think from here we start with best practices.
Yeah, this is a part of best practices, right?
Okay. Before we move into best practice, I think we have a healthy 30 minutes for that, which is very important part. Do you guys have any questions? Anyone, any questions? If you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to pick you guys randomly, and I'm going to ask you questions. Okay, what about other domains, right? So yeah, there are various domains like blockchain, IoT, so many of them which could be covered. Even these domains we couldn't cover into detail. We it just gave a very basic idea to you guys, and I know that it might not be very relevant, but that's somewhere where you get started. Since there's always a time limitation, you guys might also get bored if the program goes longer. So probably we could cover other domains maybe next time. And yeah, how do you know about selecting your best domain? This is a very interesting question, excellent question, right?
Right.
So, dear White Devil, if that's how we call you, right? So, about selecting your best domain, I think probably if you keep trying each of them, you will know. Okay, yeah. Hi, Teja. Okay, I'm sure you might have been having good adventure in GMK sir's class, right? So, right. So, how do you select your best domain? So, I can tell you my journey on how I selected my best domain and then could relate to it. Yes, yeah, Abhijit has already summed it up in a single line. Try all of them, and then you'll know what you have to do. I tried a lot of things, then I found out that I'm made for security and some development. So yeah, you try each of them, you like something, and when you realize that there's one particular domain which you're loving to work on, or something which gives you thrill where you are awake and you're still working, that is the domain you have to make your career out of. So you can figure it out, like every month try something new in first year, and then you know. In game development, yes, there are quite a lot of seniors who have been doing quite a lot of work in game development. I think my friend Vishwas, in fact, he has been running a company in game development. He is in final year CSE. I think company name is Codemeyer or Wexmeyer. And then they have also launched few games on, I think you can also make no code games, and you can make games out of Unity and all of that. We could have a session on game development if you require. I think last year, Abhijit, along with few other seniors, had hosted a game development thing via Unity. I need to check if the video is available or not, but you can definitely find the blog and resources on Glug blog. I think Teja has asked pretty good questions. Do you need a lot more elaboration on this, or I think this is fine? Okay, I'll assume this to be fine. So, right. Okay, so any other questions, anyone? Okay, graphic development, right? Graphic development, UI, UX illustrations, and all of that you can definitely do. I think there are various tools which you have to learn as per my knowledge, Adobe XD, Figma, and I don't know. I use Canva
Canva,
because I'm not into,
Canva, yeah.
yeah, yeah, I'm not into graphic development. So Canva is pretty good drag and drop. Yes, if you are very good with creativity, I believe that industry has a shortage of proper UX developers. I spoke to few, excellent product managers yesterday. I also had a chance to meet the first lead of Glug in the same clubhouse room, and then we had a discussion that yes, Abhijit has posted the link regarding the Unity development. Yes, getting back to graphic development. Yeah, so you'll have to learn these sort of tools. You'll have to understand how to visualize an idea into an application, try to make a wireframe. And once you're done with wireframe, that's the skeleton, try to put colors and stuff to that. And then if you're making good content out of it, I think that's the right way to get started with graphic development. Right. The last question about software development, like for PC, etc. Okay, you want to develop thick clients, okay, or Electron-based application or Java-based application, right? So I don't have very good expertise with making, computer applications. So I'll not, say, I'll just say whatever I know of. I think these days even Flutter is also supporting building PC-based applications. So if you learn Flutter, I think that also gives you an edge in making mobile apps for smart devices like a smartwatch, TV, etc. And then you can also compile it to PC application. Apart from this, I think you need to learn .NET. I think a lot of guys in Microsoft community could be able to help you out with elaborated. Yeah, which language to learn
Learn
after
after
C?
C. Mhm.
You just have to learn C or C++ and get master at it. I think this is one thing which I want to share, that don't try to learn 20, 30 different things or 10, 20 different things. Learn just one thing after you're finalized and then get very, very good at it, right? If you know,
Yeah.
I know people who in my batch who just knew C, who did a lot of competitive coding in C, and these guys went on to crack all the first rounds of interview, although they didn't do well after first round in interview or something because they were too shy, like you guys are, to ask any questions by unmuting yourself. But he went on to, he was just good with C. He did all sort of things in C. What language to learn after C is very subjective based on what you want to do. You want to do mobile app, you learn Dart. You want to do something in automation, artificial intelligence, I think Python supports it very well. You want to learn Spring, or you want to make desktop applications, I think Java could be a good pick. I think this is a workshop topic in itself. But yeah, these are based on your choices, based on different courses you take, different sort of content you watch on YouTube. You'll know what you have to learn next. But C is very important. A lot of guys might have skipped it because of okay, yeah, a lot of guys might have skipped it because of of this online offline curriculum and stuff. But please, it's okay guys, if you have missed other subjects, if you have somehow copied and passed and stuff, that's absolutely fine. But please get good at C or any one language, C++ or anything. But please be able to visualize. You need to know the actual difference between while loop, for loop, if, else. All of these things are very basic concepts, but a lot of even senior level folks lack on it, right? So it's very important to build fundamentals. Only after you build foundation, only then a building can be made up on it. Similarly, your development can be done upon it. It's very important to have very good depth. And if we have idea about C and jump in Java, is it good for Android development? If you know how to do C, basically, there's one thing called as coding or competitive coding, and another thing is development. So if you know C, then it's very easy for you to even do Java or any other language for that matter, right? Because the concepts are very similar. So when you get expert or excellent in one particular topic, it becomes very, very simple for you to learn another topic. But when you know one topic very less and then you know another topic very less, you keep jumping, then you don't reach anywhere, and then you lose your motivation, and then you start to put depression sort of things on your Instagram, status and your WhatsApp status. So yeah, that's about so you start with one thing. Yeah, I think Abhijit has put up great content with respect to the question asked. I think he's the right person who could have answered this. Right. So, okay, we have good questions coming in. So I'm really excited. This batch is really good. I want to know what is the real name of ABCDEFGH, just as a trivia. How you named that way? Because it was very easy. Okay, cool. Moving on. Right. So I think getting back to our slides, what is open source development, right? This is a very, very important question. I didn't know this. And Abhijit introduced me to this when I was in my first year, I believe, or second year. So open source is a very, very important part wherein, you develop something openly, and anyone who wants to come in, who wants to jump in, jumps, I mean, comes in, they do their part of development and they go. That is like, it's more like, how do I explain, which you guys can understand? Yeah, it's sabka saath, sabka vikas. So that works very well in software development. Yeah, if you guys know of GitHub and Git, it's very, very essential. Via using GitHub, we can do collaborative development. You can, when a software is open sourced, by that it means that this is open to the world. Anyone can come take a look. They can use it, or based on the license, they can reuse it and all of that. So that is open source. Even at Glug, the primary agenda is to have open source development, and everyone is learning together. That is the primary idea. And as open source development, I think you need to be very good with. It's very simple to be good with Git and GitHub, but it's also essential to learn this if you want to do any sort of learning. We have a question from where to start and what to do. How can we come to know as we are starters? Good question. Anyone wants to take this up? Shresht or Abhijit, Adhikant, anyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you don't know anything about coding, we'll also be covering that part in best practices. So I'll actually show you on my screen what are the things that are required if you don't know anything about coding. So that will be covered. And also talking about open source. So if you're really good at it and if you contribute regularly, there's also a chance that you could try for GSOC. GSOC is Google Summer of Code, and it's a very wonderful program. If you might have heard of it, it's a Google initiative. And
And
yeah,
you
so
get a lot of money also.
yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could actually do that. So let's start with best practices. Otherwise, we'll run out of time.
Yes. Right. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So recommended resources. Yeah, I'll be sharing this in the chat section. Okay, and we'll also be putting this up in the blog. So this
Yes.
would be a resource list basically.
Which will
Yeah,
have links of everything, like different courses you can start off with. And of course, I think Abhijit has put CS 101 somewhere up in the
yeah,
chat.
yeah,
You guys
yeah,
can refer to that also. That has a lot of resources for anyone to get started. Just explore each of them, take an hour or two of time and then explore. We'll be sharing a resource as well, which has different ways to get started. I think CS50 is another good way, which is again in comments. We all started from there. Absolutely, we didn't know anything, and then we started from somewhere. A lot of times we didn't know the way, then we found it again. you know it's struggle, but it's fun. So well, you'll know once you have the resource. I think let's get to best practices, right?
yeah. And we'll answer the questions in the
Yes.
comment section after that. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So first part is GitHub. Okay, cool. So I'm expecting that some of you might not be having your GitHub accounts. So the first thing you need to do if you want to contribute to open source is get yourself a GitHub account, and it definitely comes up with its own set of benefits that I'll okay Kaushiki, I need to share my screen, so sorry if you might have to unshare again. 1 second. Yeah, so first of all, one thing you can do is you can make a GitHub account. Okay, it is very, very essential for you. Uh, and it is your part to open source.
Very
One second.
important. Team development, team-based project development, on all of that. Even if you apply for, your internships, they might give you a task in which you have to put the task in GitHub and then you have to send the GitHub link. And that is how
Yeah,
everyone can see your work. So GitHub is very important. At the end of this meeting, go and make a GitHub and LinkedIn account.
yeah, that's how an organization, most of some of the organizations work on Git and GitHub. So Git is a concept, and like we would do some other session on that as well. Uh, and yeah, one more thing that Ujjwal Bhaiya pointed, you have to make a LinkedIn account as well, because it can also be used for personal marketing, and you could do great projects and you can post it on LinkedIn, and you can actually get some traffic and audience from there. Okay, so moving on, I'll show the list once. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, so GitHub, once you get a GitHub account, you can apply for GitHub Student Developer Pack. So this is the best thing you could ask for, and like it consists of a lot of things, that premium things that can be used for free, and this is especially for students. So like for example, you could use Canva for free 12 months. So someone had asked about a design, right? So you get Canva free for 12 months. So what else can you ask for? Then you get Microsoft Azure, you can get cloud services, learning resources, credit card is not required. Plus, as Ujjwal Bhai had pointed out in the starting of the session, that you can get your own domain names. So this is name.com. So there are a lot of things you can get from GitHub Student Developer Pack. And for this, you would need an .edu email. and that .edu email you have to get
No,
that from
there's a
college.
hack. Yeah, there's a hack in this to get to bypass that. While you're putting your college name when you're applying, right? When you select Sir M. Vishweswaraya, don't click on the college name when it comes up, but manually type it and put it as a new option. Just type the name and then click on next. Don't click on the option which populates down. Then you have an option to upload your ID card picture. I just realized this sometime back. And you upload your ID card picture, and in a month it gets approved. I would anyway recommend to go and bug the department authorities, especially CS guys, because they are not given .edu emails. You can bug the boys hostel warden, and he can help you getting the .edu emails. This is very important. You can also get a lot of web development resources, a lot of premium resources to learn for free in GitHub development pack. Lots of benefits, guys. You cannot even use all of these benefits in 4 years of engineering, but get
Yeah,
a GitHub account, apply for a GitHub student developer pack, and also make your LinkedIn account. These are the
yeah.
initials. Yeah.
These are very extremely important, and you could see the list. This is so huge, and so you can go to this education.github.com/pack, and you can click on get your pack. So yeah, you can proceed then. If you have any doubts, you could ping us. And
Yes. Very important to join CodeShack on Telegram. Just search CodeShack or just HTTPS. I think in the description, Abhijit Bhaiya has already put t.me/CodeShack. So you can anyway join CodeShack and you can ask any sort of questions. Feel free to ask any questions you like. And yes, and also we have an important email ID in the chat box. I think this is one of the most precious chat box you guys can ever get. Just drop a mail to this guy with your email, with your details, and then try to get an edu account. So yeah,
even
so
even I'll need to do that. Yeah.
yes,
So let's we have to cover production ready and quality, not quantity. Can you
yes,
would you
yeah,
speak
yeah,
about it?
definitely. So again, LinkedIn is a popular. I'll just cover LinkedIn in a minute. You guys need to make LinkedIn because LinkedIn is the social media of all professionals. This is where you make account and you keep developing, and then you could get a lot of internships, jobs. You could meet with, you could connect with a lot of great professionals. I have got connected with people across globe who have helped me in a lot of times when there were some sort of security attacks and stuff. There are lots of things which can happen via LinkedIn. There's endless possibility. Just go and make a LinkedIn account at the end of this and maintain that account. Third thing is production ready. One big problem which people make across engineering is they develop something but they don't make it production ready. By production ready, what I mean is you have made it in form of a link or something which anyone who's not even in tech is able to use it. Probably someone sitting in a village should be able to use it. As a second year student, I mean, this is I was told in the same words and I'm saying it to you guys. If you make a tic-tac-toe game out of your C language or Python or anything, right? Make sure that you convert that to a basic website or something or an app, and then you give that link or that app to anyone, and anyone should be able to use it without actually knowing coding. You should not be able to. I mean, you should not be like, yeah, मैंने develop किया है and this I'm running via terminal or via command prompt or I'm opening on computer and I'm using it. No, it should be production ready and end users should be able to use it. I think that is something which will help you in your interviews as well. You can clearly throw links on the interviewer and you can tell them that here is the link, this is my work, this is my work. Without doing anything, they can open on their phones and they can see your work and you're hired. Quality on not quantity is very important. Don't focus on 20 different things. Focus on one thing after you've figured out and get your depth in that one particular technology. Get things right, become so strong enough that nobody can defeat you in that one thing. At least make that your arena. That is very important. One more thing which I want to tell, I was quite disappointed with few batches that that's you always need to work in teams. You always need to help everyone. Please don't keep that mentality wherein you're learning things alone, you're hiding it, and you're telling that I'm not going to tell Shresh that I'm learning security, and Shresh will be like, I'm not going to tell Ujjwal that I'm learning something in AI. That is something which is a way to your self destruction. Trust me, in the long run, while you're in placements or in final year, you'll realize that this has ruined not just you and your but your entire batch, and you guys stand nowhere in front of world. Trust me, people are very very talented out there of your same age because they worked in team. Remember, you always have to help everyone, you always have to take everyone's help. So that is very very important. And then student developer pack has been covered. Student program, Shresh, would you like to cover?
Okay, yeah. So there are some student programs that you could apply to. So basically, there is the Microsoft Student Program. That is the name changed, right,
Yes, yes,
Ujjwal?
yes. It was Microsoft Student Partners. Now it's Microsoft Student Learn Ambassadors. I'm a MLSA.
Yeah,
Yeah. So there are various program, guys. Say Microsoft has a community program which is called as MLSA. Now you guys can apply to it at the end of your first year after you've done some work in tech, and you get a lot of benefits. I mean, I have a lot of swags shipping to my home. I keep getting a lot of bags and a lot of these things coming to my home exclusively. I get a lot of GitHub credits of 10,000. I mean, Azure credits of 10, 20,000 every month, and I have a huge set of beautiful program wherein there are so many like-minded individuals across the globe with whom we are working in collaboration. These communities help you like anything. I don't know whether you guys are understanding or not, but these student programs are very important. Similar program is DSC, Developer Student Clubs by Google. Similarly, Mozilla has a program. GitHub also has a program. I think GitHub Campus Ambassador
Campus
or something.
Experts. Yeah,
Yeah,
Campus
yeah, GitHub
Experts.
Campus Experts, right? Don't get into Internshala student partner by the name of these campus programs.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people becoming campus partner 12.0, 14.0 or something. So please be out of that. And yeah, so student programs are very important. Keep in your mind that helps you become leader, that helps you shape community. Trust me, you cannot go anywhere without having a strong and credible community. Important part is Linux. Shesh, would you like to cover
Yeah,
the importance of Linux? Yeah.
yeah, sure. I'll cover this. Okay, so it is for you to become a better programmer. It is advisable, not necessary, but it's advisable that you shift to Linux. Okay, and Linux is very programmer friendly. You could do everything from your command line or your terminal. Okay, and there are a lot of perks of using Linux. First of all, it is open source, so you can actually see the code in which Linux is written. It is available, whereas Windows is like proprietary, so you can't access that code. Other thing is it is actually very secure as compared to Windows, so you don't need any antivirus softwares or something like that when you're using Linux. Plus you could customize your OS as in any way you want. Okay, it's extremely flexible. You could do you could use any UI you want, and that is not the case with Windows because you have to use what is actually served to you. And there's a lot of actually software updates in Linux that comes, and unlike Windows, you don't have to update. You could actually choose to skip it, but it's definitely recommended to update your software. Then it comes, there's better privacy in Linux, and plus you get a lot of built-in tools in Linux that allows you to code easily. And it's actually the Linux terminal is way 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 smarter than Windows, that command line. So yeah, plus in the resource list that I have shared in the chat box, you could see I have added 2 3 tutorials on Linux. And so you first thing you can do is, if you want to get Linux, you have to dual boot your system if you want to keep Windows. So I have put a link on, it's a blog basically, so you can check that blog, and it shows you how can you dual boot your system to both Windows and Linux. So you could go to YouTube, and you could actually check why is it better than Windows, other than points that I could have mentioned. So that is one thing. And
Yeah.
one thing, yeah, that I guess we forgot to cover is quality, not quantity. So like if you make projects, okay, there's something like initial stages, try to make small projects. But as you start becoming good at it, you try to make projects that are something that is really innovative. Okay, that it stands out from the crowd. So if I'm an interviewer and I interview 50 people, if 45 of them have made the same app, uh, I won't consider them. Okay, but if another candidate comes and tells me a very quality project that he had thought for himself, that would be his distinguishing feature. So as you progress, I see a lot of people in a lot of batches, they make the same project that everyone else makes. Okay, so that won't make you stand out of the crowd. So that is something. Plus, you need to make quality projects as well after you learn basic projects. So that's after you become intermediate at any skill. And so there's something called important art of Googling. Ujjwal Bhaiya, do you want to cover this?
Yeah, definitely. But before art of Googling, long story short, shift to Linux. I wasted 2 years of my life, or probably even more, of engineering in Windows, and was reluctant to shift. I used to fight with all the Linux guys that Windows is better, and now when I'm in Linux, I know how good Linux is. Just shift to Linux. Windows will ruin your development and any plans. And all those guys who also want to become pro hackers, please shift to Linux. And I think Chetan has a very important Linux command. I think you missed a star to remove everything. You also need to put a star, Chetan. And yeah, very important. Please join CodeShack. Mentioning again, that has a setup of all the alumni, everyone in the college, right, across all batches, all the techies. Any question you answer, you put, you will get an answer to it. Art of Googling is very important, as I told earlier. Googling things is very, very important. Nobody can spoon feed you. Google every single thing, Google every single error you're getting, and you will get a solution to it.
Yeah,
So just Google things, learn, and grow. Just Google anything. Say you want to learn something in security, web application security, search best resources of best web application security, or something. You want to learn GitHub, then you can learn, you can write, learn GitHub and something like that. And always take something apart from ads. So you will find very good resources. Just Google everything, every single problem you're facing, anything. And anyway, your seniors are always there to whom you can get in touch with. But Google always helps you. Very important resources are, try to go to Udemy, try to go to Coursera, try to go to EDX. Any of these places, take up something, learn, keep reading things out there. You know, join Medium, read something on LinkedIn or somewhere, but keep reading, keep learning, keep googling, and then repeating the process. And I think last thing is personal branding. This is something which I believe, I wish I told to myself quite earlier. Personal branding is very, very important. I always thought that development is everything. Yes, it is everything, but personal branding matters like anything. Try to make your own website, something which describes you. Like, I made my own website. Abhijit Bhaiya has his absync.com. So it's important to have your personal website, personal blog. You can always speak of it. Try to personalize yourself as a brand on LinkedIn or on different areas by different blogs, and by helping people in community and stuff. That's very important. I think this
yeah,
is about everything we
yeah.
wanted to
Because
cover. Yeah.
yeah. Because suppose you, whenever you go out for a job to get a job, you have to sell yourself, right? It's an art of sales. You should know how to sell yourself. So, like as he told, you have to you could have a portfolio website of your own. So you could actually present everything about you on that website, and it would be a one-stop resume for you. Okay, you could add your resume, you could add your projects, you could add your blogs, you could add everything on your portfolio website. So this is something you could like start with. So try to learn. If you are interested in web development, you can actually start learning basic all technologies, HTML, CSS, and then you can implement it to make your own portfolio website. So that could be taken as a project by you all. And one thing I forgot to cover. So for the people who haven't done any coding till now, or you want to learn anything from data structure, algorithms, anything, the best thing, best place you can go is Geeks for Geeks. Okay, so go to Geeks for Geeks. Then there's a lot of things that are mentioned over here, as you can see. So there are tutorials. What tutorials do you want? You want on algorithms? You can click here and you get a list of algorithms. Data structures, you get a list. Languages. So suppose you are extremely, like you're a novice coder. You don't know anything about any language. You could go to Geeks for Geeks, tap on tutorials, languages, and then choose any language you want to pursue. So suppose it's C++. Now you see C++, and there's a lot of things that is there within C++, and you can see the basics. You could start reading by reading this, but don't go through everything because it would be very long. But something you don't understand, you can actually refer from here. You could see the comparisons, and this is STL, the standard template library. So this is advanced C++. Okay, so you could actually read about this as well. So it all depends on what you want to learn. If anything data structures you want to learn, you could learn about linked list. And plus there are practice questions on Geeks for Geeks as well. So you could actually also remove duplicates, suppose. So you could practice this. And when you practice, like you could write the code here. So it acts as they show you the theory and you can code here. Plus there's a leaderboard for our college. And you could see the people who have coded till now and the leaderboard. So as you can see, so people who are getting started with DSA and who want to like get into competitive coding, Geeks for Geeks is a very good platform. It covers a good number of questions, and you could actually take a personal target to get on the leaderboard. So even I'm not there on the first page, so you could actually take a personal target to reach here uh, for the campus. You could, be on the first page of for our campus, and that would be a good feat to achieve. And these are some good resources for web development courses that I had mentioned. You could learn anything you want. And this is the blog that I wanted to show you. So this contains everything you want to, you might want to explore. So there are a lot of good blogs that are written by your seniors and by your second and third years that you can
And
actually
you
check
guys
out
can
here.
also write to this. After you learn
Yeah,
GitHub, you can take this as your blog, make your own author profile. We'll be helping you out and keep writing your blogs. And this is taken, I mean, people globally watch this. I recently had
yeah.
someone from Argentina texting me. So, yes.
So this is very important. You could learn something and you could write a blog on it and you can post it here. Yeah, you don't have to, it's not very hard actually to write this. It's written in Markdown format, and if you want to write and if you're confident that you can write about something, you can approach us and we'll guide you